Charlie Blackman. All right. I'm Ryan. This is Justin. This is the State of the Centennial podcast here at 5280 Sports Network. Second episode, Justin. How you feeling?
Episode number 2. We didn't get fired yet, baby.
Didn't get fired yet. We got those views on YouTube. We're coming for you. This is going to be a good podcast. I am excited about today's show. Lots of good topics to talk about with you, Justin. We're going to start with the bipolar mess that is the Rockies. I don't know. Seriously, name a hotter and colder thing.
Katy Perry.
No. Well, maybe. Yeah. No, seriously, like the Rockies, we need to talk about what you're doing here, all right? Then we're going to move to Cody Latimer. I may have a little strong take here. I'm excited to see what you say about Cody Latimer.
All right, yeah. That's going to be a good discussion.
It's going to be good. And then we're going to pay a little tribute to our man, Danilo Gallinari. We think he was just kind of passed over by Nuggets fans, and we need to talk about like the production that he's going to be taking away.
Danilo, we'll miss you.
Oh, yikes. Then we are talking...
I was out of love. Just let's not get carried away here.
Then in the second segment, we are talking about Colorado. Justin and I are going to give you some of our best hidden spots in Colorado. Or at least for Justin, a spot that doesn't get enough love.
Needs more love.
And then we're going to have a discussion about 16th Street Mall. Apparently,
too many yuppies, man.
Apparently, just ghetto central all of a sudden. I was down there like last week.
Well, white people are scared of their own shadows. So.
Right. You're not wrong, though. The third segment, we're going off. We've got what we're listening to this week, what blew our minds on the internet. We're going to talk a little Game of Thrones. I have watched 10 episodes exactly of Game of Thrones, and I stopped after that.
What is wrong with you?
We're going to talk about this, all right? And then we got some stale pizza. Boy, I got someone that I am ready to take down this week, Justin. I am so excited. I am so excited to take this person down. And then we'll wrap up with our 2-minute warning. Let's get to the Rockies talk, first segment. Justin, after our podcast last week, the Rockies played 2 games in New York, and I said, wow, okay, so this is going to be what it's like the second half of the season. And then the past 2 games, it's been literally the opposite. What is happening?
I honestly, last night when we were preparing for this podcast, I was trying to think about, what are some of the things I should talk about, and then I realized, I have no idea because there's nothing on this team that's been consistent other than Charlie Blackman and, Nolan's excellence at third base.
I don't know where we're at with this team because I don't feel any more confident than I do.
Well, how could you?
Heading in after the Kyle Freeland almost no-hitter, I was feeling pretty confident about the team. Then the first 2 games against the Mets, like I was saying, I was like, oh gosh,
outscored 23-5.
Right, I was like, here we go, this is gonna happen. And then it was like, oh, we'll have some really good games here. We'll give you some tacos, and everyone can shut.
Even in the win last night, although it was a fairly commanding victory and they got the big lead and it was never really in question.
Right, Marquez wasn't great.
But it was sketchy.
Yeah.
4 pitchers in the 8th inning.
Yeah, man.
Some serious traffic. I saw a lot of people online wanting to go to Holland in the 8th. I'm glad Bud didn't. I think they need to, keep him at the 1-inning limit.
I wonder if they're because I'm still a little questionable about why they brought in Holland in that one tie game. I wonder if they're sorry about it. Hey, we really probably should have put you in there. We blew your save, consecutive saves and all that stuff. So, I don't know, man.
Holland seems like a gamer, though. I'm sure he had one eye on that streak.
Right.
But in the end, if you're a logical human being, you're going to blow a save at some point. Unless you're Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, well, look, the problem there is being a logical human being. That's tough now.
There's not a lot of them.
All right, what do you see the Rockies doing this week?
I think...
Are we going to get more of this awful game, amazing game?
Solely on gut feeling, I think they're going to play well against San Diego here. The Padres aren't anything to brag with. They can hit the long ball a little bit, so if the pitching's questionable, it could make for a couple long games.
For some reason, with the Padres, have just given the Rockies some issues this year.
When you strike out Will Myers 4 times, that'll help.
That's true. All right. Let's talk about this guy named Cody Latimer. Broncos fans may remember him purely just because of how high he was drafted and 0 catches he's made in the NFL. He's made catches in the NFL. I just don't remember any of them. Cody Latimer over the weekend, a video was released by TMZ Sports of him kind of getting into it with a bouncer at a strip club.
Wasn't a great look.
Wasn't a great look. There's no good looks with bouncers outside strip clubs. Like, you're not going to have a good look there. It looked as though he was keeping the peace, and then he went a little overboard. He had to, he had his hand on the bouncer's shoulder. The bouncer kept, knocking his hand off, and then Latimer kind of it wasn't even like a slap. He just kind of, boop.
Yeah, it
definitely
kind of
hit him in the face.
Got blown out.
Right, but at the same time, if you don't think stuff is happening after you kind of slap a bouncer in the face, that's your own fault here.
Yeah, if you slap a bouncer, you deserve whatever comes to you at that point.
Right. So here's my question. What does this do to Cody Latimer, if anything at all, since this was 5 months ago and now we're just talking about it?
I mean, he supposedly disclosed it to the team. We have no real way of verifying that.
True.
But the team claims that he did, so I'm off to believe them, I guess.
Right, if it did... Cody Latimer, I see as not having a very long leash, he doesn't have any weight to carry in the locker room.
I said multiple times on the radio that I think he's going to get cut in preseason before this happened.
Right. So you still think this? He's pretty much not going to be on the team next year.
Well, that was definitely my opinion coming into the spring.
Was this
he supposedly looked fairly decent in the workouts, as good as you can look in shorts and t-shirts.
Right.
Who gives a shit?
Just playing catch. Is this a nail in a coffin? Does it do anything? Does it affect his stance, or is this just kind of a thing?
If the team actually knew what happened and they're comfortable with what they think the legal repercussions are going to be,
okay, I
don't think this is really going to affect his status anymore. But it's not going to help him. That's for sure.
Right. I in terms of things you could do off the field, this seems like one of the tamest,
It's not the worst thing we've ever seen, but it's definitely just what
are you doing? That's obviously a stupid
just
look.
Leave.
Just leave. But I don't know what this means for Cody Latimer. I'm kind of with you. I don't think he's a player where I don't think it affects his standing with the team right now. I just think it was a dumb thing. And he's, like you said, just going to be a bubble player throughout training camp. I don't think this hurt or helped. But Justin,
away in the second round.
I know. The thing no one is talking about this story, which just blows my mind, is Cody Latimer was at a strip club with his uncle.
With his uncle?
With
family
his uncle.
Time.
This is family. Right. You go to when have strip clubs become family venues?
All I know, I love all of my uncles, and I have a big family, so I have 5 or 6.
Right.
But if one of them was like, "Yo, Justin, let's hit up the strip club," I'd be like, "Did you get a divorce, or you going through a midlife crisis?"
Dude, you help me learn how to ride a bike. What are you doing? I don't need to look at live vaginas with you. This is let's just.
To be fair, separate. I can't afford the type of strip clubs that Cody Latimer can probably afford, so I don't know what kind of life they're living.
So if your uncle offered to pay for the strip club, you'd be like,
maybe. I don't. It seems gnarly to me either way.
That was just one of the wildest parts where I'm like, wow, that's. I guess
I just have $2,000 instead.
That's true. I'll go by myself. Yeah, I got books to buy, man.
Books and gas bills.
Cody Latimer. We don't know what was stupider: the decision to slap the bouncer or to go with your uncle. That's where we're at with you.
That's a tie.
Let's move on to Nuggets. A non-Paul Millsap story. With the signing of Millsap, of course, meant the departure of one Danilo Gallinari. Now, a lot of fans, I didn't see hate on Gallo on Twitter. Oh, thank God he's gone.
There was definitely some angst and animosity towards him though at the end.
Right, I think he was more of the cargo type for the Nuggets. Gallo is a good player. But he wasn't the one that really just won over the fans. I don't think he performed. I thought he was a great player, but I guess he didn't perform well enough to become a fan favorite.
What else? My response to that is what else could he have done?
Right, I'm with you. I
get it. The Nuggets have never, they had that good 2013-14 season, and that ended disappointingly.
I wonder if he's still attached to the post-Melo vibe of the Nuggets.
I think everybody associated with that trade is going to be, somewhat associated with it. That's just such a bitter time frame in Nuggets fans' memories. Got stabbed in the heart by the one you love, and had to watch him go to New York City and just make a fucking mess of himself.
And so I wonder if that's why fans didn't fall in love with Gallo, because they were still hurt. They were like, we'll rebound with you, but
they say you got to move on until you can love another.
Right. So that's the point is that Gallo was having, I thought he had a great year last year. I thought he's had consistent years. I thought he was just one of those players that you went to, you were talking about, I think, last week, where if you need to score, he you kind of got it to him. And so, I don't know. I think that this is going to hurt the Nuggets. I think him and Millsap are different enough to where the production numbers, and stat lines coming out are going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Do you think this is where Gary Harris steps in and takes over? I'm trying to find where that guy is now.
I think it's TBD, my friend. Is this
roster
bad
disease to have?
Are they going to go small ball at times and try and roll 3 guards out there? My biggest question is, who are you going to roll out the 3 other than Wilson Chandler 82 games a season?
And I thought Wilson Chandler probably had more of an argument to not be on the team than Gallo.
Oh, absolutely. Gallo has been way more consistent over his career. He's been a team guy. He didn't throw a temper tantrum in the locker room.
Yo, Wilson. He does that a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, like we were just saying, I think Gallo wasn't as appreciated by fans as he should have been. And I think there's
going to be some close games next year where you're going to really see where the Nuggets miss him.
Oh, man, this is
when they're struggling to shoot from outside. You got Millsap maybe with foul trouble, or Jokic isn't in. Gallo could score in the post. He could score from behind the arc.
I know.
I don't know, man.
I thought he was fun to watch. Gallo.
He had an awesome name. Great hair.
Great hair.
That's all that really matters.
Best of luck in LA.
Good luck.
No, that's all that matters. If you got dope hair and a good name,
it works for Birdman.
right.
Until that whole child.
You're halfway there.
He was proven innocent, or he was something like that.
Something. I don't know. I mean,
Don't quote me on that.
All right, that will wrap up the first segment. In the next segment, we're going to talk about some of our best hidden spots in Colorado. You may have heard of mine. You've probably heard of Justin's. Then we're talking 16th Street Mall, a.k.a. Apocalypse Now, apparently.
Don't go there with your family, everyone. Oh.
Right, there's a Chili's. We'll see you after this break.
To keep my hands on myself. Think I'll dust them off, put them back up on the shelf. Little baby girl is in need. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks. I've been feeling it since 1966. Happy over.
Justin, it's time to mark your calendar, because guess what?
What is that, man?
In 2045, Colorado will see an entire solar eclipse. The moon shadow will go over Colorado. 2045.
I'm putting it in my phone right now.
That's what I'm saying. Just do it. If you're into eclipses and awesome space shit, 2045.
If you're not, you're lame.
Yeah, exactly. Because this planet, we're gonna have to find another planet. Let's talk about Colorado. We kind of went over Fort Collins and what changes happened the past 5 years. I came in on Prospect today, and I didn't know that there's a health center there now.
Yeah.
Prospect College. That was nothing. There was nothing there. Now there's a hospital.
Used to just be like a Taco Bell. Now there's a hospital.
It was just a weird Taco Fort Collins, man. Anyways, some best of the hidden spots in Colorado. Somewhere the Californians haven't found yet. They have infiltrated Boulder. They have infested Denver. Fort Collins is getting a little crowded. What is your kind of just go-to place where if you got a free Sunday, you're like, oh, you know what? Let's drive there.
If I can spend one day anywhere in the state of Colorado, on any given day, it's got to be Grand Lake. And I know Grand Lake locals are probably sneering at me a little bit. Grand Lake's not a hidden spot. Everybody knows about Grand Lake. But the thing I appreciate about Grand Lake is that when you get over there, it's not quite as touristy. There's not quite as much tourist crap to do over there, so it's not... You don't get the same crowds you get in Estes Park. Mm-hmm. You don't get all the tourists from Vail and Breckenridge.
I can see that.
There's, some secluded, nice hiking areas in Rocky Mountain National Park. It's just a beautiful spot.
Now, is that a day trip, or you like spending a weekend there?
Shit, I'll spend a month there if I can, but...
I hear you.
It's a doable day trip, but 2 days I'd say is for the trek. It's probably a 2 day.
You camping there? Or?
Yeah, you can.
All right.
There's hotels.
I've been there. I haven't like spent like a bunch. Like I've been like, oh, that's Grand Lake.
Yeah, my grandparents used to live up there.
Oh, all right. Well, then there you go. Yeah.
So
they still live up there?
Well, they sold their house like last year. I know, heartbreaking.
With that, yeah.
I'm still upset if you guys are
do
listening.
A podcast from there, but I guess we won't. Justin, have you heard of the town of Sedalia?
I have, but I've only been there one time.
So. Okay. Like, where did you go?
I was like 6 years old.
Oh, okay. All right. So Sedalia, that's kind of where that's around the neighborhood I grew up in. I grew up in Highlands Ranch, and shout out to all the cake eaters in Highlands Ranch. That was the one where you kind of just like, if you wanted to get sort of in the woods, you would go to like Sedalia and then get into the backcountry from there. There's like tons of camping. You can go up, you can drive on dirt roads and hills, and then there's like this cool just bar in the middle of the dirt road. It's called like Sprucewood or something.
Shout out to Sprucewood.
Shout out to Sprucewood. I've had a Jack and Coke there. It was,
gentleman's drink.
It was definitely a Jack and Coke. But no, it's just like, if you are looking to kind of just do those backcountry road like drives, head down to Sedalia. It's just kind of
sounds a little bit like Fairplay to me. Or at least like the vibe, maybe not.
Okay, yeah. There's some similarities there, where it's just that like. Yeah, that kind of country vibe.
But it's like you're not really that.
Yeah, you're country. Yeah,
like you could turn around and be back in the city.
Exactly.
In like
There's
20
not a McDonald's that far away. Yeah, exactly. It's between Castle Rock and Highlands Ranch. So if you go, tell them Ryan sent you. They won't know who the fuck you're talking about. So yeah, all right. We talked about two places we kind of dig that not many people may know about. We need to talk about 16th Street Mall. Apparently, it is gang-infested, some of the worst neighborhoods in Denver, and yet you can just go to Applebee's.
I'm telling you, Ryan, it simply isn't safe.
These hooligans down on 16th Street Mall asking me for spare change. So, all right, so 16th Street Mall, I think it started with a poll you sent out on Twitter on, like, what the opinions of were 16th Street. Explain the poll, and then it kind of explain where it came from and what happened after.
All right. So, if you're not familiar with the poll, I sent out a tweet asking Colorado natives their opinions on, the 16th Street Mall and how safe it is.
What prompted that?
Well, I saw a couple tweets from multiple Colorado media personalities, just referencing 16th Street Mall and how it's too sketchy now, and like they wouldn't take their family or their girl there, and it's not safe and all this.
Sure, bro.
Yeah, whatever. My response to that, basically, like, have you ever been to a big city or like a real city where there's actual ghettos? Like,
I've been to New York.
This is the 16th Street Mall.
It's a mall.
It's a mall.
It's not even an alley.
Like, there's some weird homeless people that might ask you for money, but
that's every street in Denver. Yeah. Like, I have not felt unsafe. I have not felt more unsafe like other places. Like, I have not felt any less safe on 16th Street Mall. It just feels like a place in Denver. Like, it just feels like a street.
Like, I'm sure we're going to get responses with people, like, talking about all this crazy bullshit that's happened to them.
Yeah, there was that one guy with, like, the halogen bulb or pipe. He was, like, swinging around. And apparently he was high on weed, and that's not what weed really
the marijuana.
Yeah, trust me on this one. That is not what weed does to you, okay?
You'll be okay.
You don't hear a bunch of stoners getting so high they went up and rioted. No, they fall asleep on couches. But come on.
Ate too many Doritos.
Right. So, I don't... 16th Street Mall. I have felt more unsafe in front of the Capitol building.
I would agree. There are plenty of areas in Denver that, if you want to make that argument, that would seem more logical to me. Places where there aren't businesses open all the time.
Yeah, 16th Street Mall. I don't know. Like, if anyone was coming from out of town, I would be like, just go check it out. Go pop around. Yeah, there's some chocolate places, some good restaurants, a lot of bars now.
There's a cheesecake factory. How sketchy can it be if there's a cheesecake factory?
No sketchy neighborhood has a cheesecake factory. That just doesn't happen. That's like a sketchy neighborhood with a Whole Foods. It's not. It doesn't exist.
Oh shit, man! Did you hear about that drive-by at the Whole Foods?
Oh my gosh, dude! My boy got asked for change outside Panera Bread. I am never going back to 16th Street.
It was terrifying.
Terrifying. Oh my gosh! I am gonna go home and tweet about it. And
If you're scared of 16th Street, like, just stay away from it or whatever. But
yeah, stay away from it. It lines out the door for bars. Get out of my way. All right, done with Colorado segment. We are moving on to let's just trash the internet segment coming up next. Boy, I got some hot takes to destroy.
I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, I think you will be. I think most people will be excited for the person I destroy in this next segment. Oh, man. All right, Justin, what are you listening to this week?
I'm listening to Portugal the Man.
Oh, all
Pretty
right.
much exclusively.
Okay,
right
I have heard maybe half a song of theirs. What makes you so interested in Portugal the Man?
They've just got like a good sound. They kind of appeal to a lot of different areas.
What is it?
It's kind of that like alternative rock, modern. There's so many freaking genres of music out there right now.
What band would be a like band? Like, if
honestly,
you like this, you probably like Portugal the Man.
Have you ever heard of the Local Natives?
No.
See, they're another band you should check out.
Man, is this like KCSU stuff? Like, is this why you know all these?
No, Portugal. Okay, Portugal the Man sold out Red Rocks.
Oh, all right. Well, then I'm just out of it.
Yeah.
All right. I will retract any statement.
Check out their new album Woodstock. It's got a good, like, a little bit of a poppy feel to it, a little bit of a rock feel to it, a little bit of a, grunge, just like, to it.
Okay, all right.
Not grunge. That's not a good way to describe it. It's just got some attitude to it, is what I mean.
All right. That makes sense. Have you ever heard of, and this may be the wrong pronunciation of this name, but Toro y Moi. He's not a rapper. I don't know how to really describe his music. I would describe it as like a poolside kind of synth type music. It's just it's really good. His new album, I think it's called Boo Boo. It's great. It's just that relaxing, like, kind of summer vibe. I'm not gonna get hype to it. Like, I don't really do it other than just to kind of mellow out and all that stuff. But yeah, if you like easy listening, kind of 80s synth stuff, check him out. It's really good.
Dig the synth. The synth has made its way back into music lately.
Yeah, well, everything's electric now. They're not playing real instruments.
It's kind of
if I can sound like a
That's the one thing I will hype Portugal the Man for. One of the better live performances in all of music.
All right.
And I've seen a lot of people at this point.
Okay. I'll give you that. Justin, what blew your mind on the internet this week?
Oh, it's got to be that adorable little Charlie Blackmon fan. Charlie Blackmon!
Yo, he like blew up. In terms of like things that go viral in Colorado. That's about as viral.
He was on SportsCenter this morning.
Was he?
Yeah.
Dang. All right. He was like, in terms of like Colorado virality, he was up there with like the Balloon Boy type stuff. Like everyone was talking about him.
Except this time it's like something we can be proud of.
It's like real. Yeah. Balloon Boy is
fuck the balloon people, okay?
So like as someone in like Denver television media, that is like the one story everyone points back to as like something they were ashamed of.
Nobody verified it.
No one. And so all right, so like my dad dabbles in weather.
May have heard of him.
Like he was like trying to tell all of these people in the newsroom, like, weather balloons will not float with a child in them. Like, weather balloons barely weigh anything. It's not a hot air balloon. Yeah. It's like, you got to really fill it up if you want to get weight off the ground. So he was, like, laughing from the start. I just remember it going... It was my freshman year at CSU. Everyone in, like, Parmalee had it on their television. It was just ridiculous. And still to this day, there's, like, so much shame about Balloon Boy. But anyways, what a... kind of a detour there. No, but that little Charlie Blackmon kid blowing up.
What about you, Ryan? What blew your mind on the internet?
What blew my mind? Yo, Justin, they still have Rubik's Cubes championships?
What?
Yes. And so it was this weekend, and so here's how the Rubik's Cubes championships go. It's two guys sitting kind of just like next to each other with their own tables and judges. I think they get like 3 tries to get the fastest time possible. So the judges just put a Rubik's Cube down, they pick it up, they examine it, and then they put it back down. They have to put their hands on a sensor, and then they go and they solve it. And then they put their hands back down on the sensor. These dudes were solving Rubik's Cubes in under 6 seconds. And I was, like, astonished. I know there's algorithms and stuff, and, like, you can really get it going, but to just, like, pick up a cube, examine it, put it back down.
That's a talent I will never have.
5.4 seconds. It was just nuts. I'm still blown away by, like, someone's mind that can just, like, think that fast that it's like, oh, all right, I need to just spin this like this, and it'll be solved. That's amazing to me.
There was an NFL combine for useless talents. Rubik's Cubes would way be up there.
That and cup stacking. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh, cup stacking.
Yeah. Where's that? Do you think that's still around? Do you think they still have cup stacking championships? I'm going to look that up. That might blow my mind.
Elementary schools still do that in gym for no apparent reason?
No way. Parents are done with that. Like, it was like polio, you know? There was like cup stacking like started, and then all the parents were like, no kids are gonna have this. None of this. I am sick of the sound.
And it's
more.
It's so dumb. No offense if you're a cup stacker. You're basically doing a household chore.
Oh my gosh, but you are so not wrong about that. All right, Justin, before we get to our stale pizza trash takes of the week, Game of Thrones coming back. I know this. Season 7, it dropped on Sunday night. I didn't watch any of it. I have watched, like I said, 10 episodes of the first season. For me, I don't know, I just didn't, like, get into it. You know, some shows have me, like, hooked immediately.
Let me say this.
I don't know.
If you watched it one more time, I'd be willing to bet an absurd amount of money that you'd be hooked.
Probably.
And I've heard this from more than one person even, that, like, it's so much content that, like, if you really sit down and try and get attached to it, it's kind of tough in the first because you're taking in so much and, like, trying to figure out, like, this house is here, this house is here, they hate this person, they hate this person. But then, like, you just find yourself, like, fascinated by this world. And I'm not one of those people that, like, gets into shows and talks about it online and can't wait for it. Like, I used to make fun of my dad because he was like that with Lost. Oh, Lost is coming back.
Lost. See, I even got, like, I got lost.
I got lost.
I like watched the first season of Lost. Then it lost me. But boy, yeah, that's an unfortunate name for a show when I'm trying to explain it. But yeah, Game of Thrones. I remember that there was, like, incest in the first episode, I believe.
There's some stuff you got to get used to.
Yeah.
For
like,
sure.
You gotta prepare yourselves. Like,
I'm not sure there's ever been a better, like, violence produced show of all time, though. And just in terms of, like, it's genuine. Like, you see some movies with sword fights and it's like, that was so cheesy.
Really classy massacres going on.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that was respectful.
That was brutal, but I think somebody could have really done that.
Died by the sword. Like, it was just very gentlemanly.
Respect it. Why did war ever evolve past swords?
Cause, dude, like, that's,
I know, because, like, guns, but, like, swords are so cool.
Right. So, all right. So you were on Twitter during Game of Thrones? Because I was on Twitter Sunday night, and I'm like, wow.
I was not.
Like, everyone is talking about it.
But I had to rewatch
GIF Central.
Last season's last episode.
Okay. All right.
I didn't want anything to get ruined by those people live tweeting.
Right. Spoiling the shit out of it.
I don't do that. I'll make a few comments after, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Right. But no, I got nothing against people that watch Game of Thrones. I just am not into it. I realize that is a cultural phenomenon that I'm just not a part of. I'm definitely on the outside looking
As long as you're not those guys who are, like, bragging about not being a part of Game of Thrones.
No.
Because nothing annoys me more than that. Like, oh, good for you. You're out of the loop.
I read the books, way more detail.
So much better.
Really original stuff there. All right. Some awful takes on Twitter this week. Justin, I'm gonna let you go first because boy oh boy I want to tear this next person apart and it may go long. So what was the hot take that you just could not take this week?
I'm going short and simple this week, and you're gonna notice a theme here maybe in the early stages, and that's if you say anything bad about Nolan Arenado, or basically don't say that he's the best, I'm gonna find you and call you out for it. So Washington Nationals for calling Anthony Rendon the best third baseman in baseball.
Dude.
I get you're trying to hype your player, but, like,
come on,
he'd be the fourth best third baseman in the NL West alone.
Yeah,
like, get out.
Close.
All right, Ryan. I'm excited to hear what you want to have to say. So let's go to Ryan.
I'm gonna take down this evil bag of Lincoln Logs named Ann Coulter. Ooh. This lady, I don't know if you heard, took Twitter this weekend, to complain about Delta. The story goes is that she prepaid for an assigned seat, $30. She got on. There was a woman in her seat. I don't think there was a scuffle, but there must have been some type of discussion. Ann Coulter eventually did not get that seat. She took a picture of the lady sitting in it and then went to Twitter and just erupted on Delta. Here's where everything is wrong with her. Hey, Ann Coulter. And Justin, you may not know this. Ann Coulter makes $8.5 million a year.
$8.5 million?
$8.5 million a year.
My last check was for $121.
Right. Okay, so if you got gypped out of something that was $30, I'm going to be like, man, that kind of, damn. Yeah, Justin, like, oof. That's going to hurt. But even now, like, even just $30 as an amount of money, I mean, that's 2 Qdoba burritos. Like, get over it, Ann Coulter. Why are you even having pre-assigned? Buy business class. You can obviously afford it.
Fly first class then if it's that big of a deal, you cheap.
I am usually on the people's side because airlines have been just god-awful lately.
Airlines suck.
Airlines, it's just like someone took a city bus, put wings on it, and then it's a free-for-all. It's disgusting.
Somehow Ann Coulter sucks more, though. Which is, how do you suck more than an airline?
Right, and that's why she has just gotten zero sympathy from anyone. But this crazy-ass, evil-looking human being...
Apparently Clay Travis had issues with Delta, too. Which was kind of ironic, because he, like...
Same kind of thing
he mocked the doctor that got, like, pulled off the plane or whatever.
Right,
and then,
okay,
like,
then you deserve it.
Yeah. And I actually read about his situation, and it seems like his family kind of got a raw deal. But nonetheless, like, when you treat everyone the way Clay Travis does, and you act like that all the time... Bad shit happens to you sometimes, dude. Like,
absolutely.
Don't brag about it when it happens to other people.
And so not only that, so Delta fired back. They were like, we'll refund you the $30, and you won't have to like trash our employees and customers like that. And then Ann Coulter goes on to Fox and Friends and complains about this. I'm sorry, like this is a $30 seat. Like just get over it. You were still on she didn't get kicked off. She was still on the flight. She still got to where she needed to be. I can't imagine it being more than a 7-hour flight. Get over it. This doesn't need to be a story. Like what are we doing? Just take this and just eat it. All right, Ann Coulter, I'm so sick of it. I will send you $30.
Classic case of just, somebody making a huge deal out of nothing. Like we don't care.
Problems.
Nobody cares about you and your flight problems.
She just thinks she's better than everyone else, and that's why it's, oh my gosh. Do you know who I am? Do you know?
I am Ann Coulter.
I'm Ann Coulter.
I paid $30.
I'm so tweeting about this.
Good for you, Ann.
Well done.
Fuck
just
off.
Keep rotting from the inside. Justin, that brings us to the 2-minute warning. That means you got a minute to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Do you know what you want to talk about?
I do.
All right.
I would like to talk about Brian Black, who is a guy that I recently had the privilege to have a phone interview with. If you don't know who Brian Black is, he is a man in Oregon that suffers from epilepsy.
Okay.
Brian Black, one of his dreams was to travel the country and attend a game in every Division I basketball stadium and get a jersey of every Division I basketball team. A couple years ago, well, I think it was like 10 years ago now at this point, was diagnosed with epilepsy, so that's obviously not possible at this point.
Right.
But, something really cool has happened. Division I programs across the country started sending him jerseys.
Yo, that's awesome.
He's at like 130 of the 350 Division I schools now.
That's awesome, man.
Colorado State sent him one.
Hey.
Air Force sent him one. I haven't seen CU yet, so CU Boulder, I'm calling you out. Send Brian Black a jersey.
Then we apologize.
If you have, yes, I'm very sorry. Anyways, this is a really cool story. Really, really nice guy. Just, look into him. He's a cool guy. Mm-hmm. Brian Black on Twitter at 350 jerseys for hope.
Ooh, all right. And if you can help out, help out.
All
right, Justin, I want to talk about the television viewer. I work in TV, and I need the television viewer to legitimately just get off your high horse. We get emails and phone calls about, like, complaints. And you guys threaten to, like, not watch our station anymore.
Then don't.
I'm sorry. Then don't. Like, look, we as much as you want to think that you as a viewer is super important, if we lose one viewer because of something dumb we did,
bye.
We'll take it.
I know that's
right?
They shouldn't.
I know that's mean. Like, we definitely are all about truth and all that stuff. But this goes back to Mark Haas and I ran a viral video of a dad kicking a basketball out of a tree and it kind of bonking his kid. Like, he was trying to be cool. The dad, he kicked it out of the tree.
Kind of stuff you would laugh about on America's Funniest Home Videos.
It was such an American Funniest Home Videos video. And we got called out. Like, they called the station and told us, was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're running this. Just laughing at a child getting hit in the head, all that stuff. And we got family coming in from New York, and they're watching this, and you're just laughing at a child getting hit in the head. Meanwhile, we had a story earlier in the A block about a prostitute suing her lawyer because of sexual harassment. Didn't get a phone call about that, but the baby getting hit in the head. So look, there's going to be stuff on the news that you don't like. Get over it, okay? That's literally what the news is, okay?
When did we get offended by literally everything?
Literally everything. Like, I'm
what is to be offended about in that video?
Right. I'm not saying...
His dad wasn't like... If you didn't show a video of some dad, like, throwing a ball, just, like, beating his kid.
Right. And, well, the factor that it came down to for me and Mark was, like, the parents posted the video. Like, we couldn't have found it if the parents didn't post the video.
Look at this funny thing that happened with my kid.
Look at it. I was trying to be a hero and it just wrecked my child. So, television viewers, please calm down. We are trying our best. We are severely understaffed, severely underpaid. So, really, especially in sports, we're just trying to have fun.
Just relax a little bit, guys. Just enjoy it.
Really.
The rest of the news is depressing. Like, sports, just enjoy it a little bit.
You have something where something is just beamed into space, and it comes down into your living room.
So you can sit on your couch 4K, and do nothing.
Yeah, sit down and do nothing. We're telling you what's going on, and you got one complaint about a 15-second video? Get out of here. Speaking of getting out of here, we get to go tour the new CSU Stadium. I'm so excited.
It's going to be so cool,
So excited. So check out 5280 Sports Network. We're going to have kind of like an MTV Cribs type video. I got my whole setup here. Look how professional that looks.
Looks dope.
That looks dope. So check out 5280 Sport Network for that Sport Network. SportsNetwork.com for this podcast, any other podcast that you can think of that is Broncos Blitz. We got the Blake Street Regulars, Sean Drotar. I'm anxious to see what they have to say about the Rockies.
Jeff Morton, I think.
Jeff Morton, yes, with some Nuggets podcast. They got a bunch of good stuff. So keep checking out the website for video, podcasts, all that stuff. Justin, you got anything coming out this on the website soon?
Yeah, we're going to definitely get some Broncos coverage going here in the next week again. I know everybody's pumped for training camp. Thinking about doing a piece on Cody Latimer.
All right.
Definitely more stadium coverage for CSU. Give us a follow, man.
Give us a follow. All right. It's
or
going to be
woman.
Woman, a person.
Peoples.
My peoples.
We like all of you.
We like all of you. Thanks for listening. We will catch you next week.
Later.